look what I have. What is it? It's all the pieces for the mini rocket stove. There's actually one more box. I only got 30 of these right now, and I really feel like I should weld one together before I try and offer them to other people just to make sure they work how they're supposed to work. I did design these on the computer by myself, so who knows? My favorite part is this little grate. I was kind of worried when designing this if it would be strong enough, but it's definitely stronger than the expanded metal I used in the other one, and it all seems to fit together good. You're probably wondering what's going on because this isn't what this video is about. This video is about a welder. So, where was that welder? What do we have here? But honestly, who am I kidding? I know what's in here. This is the TransTig 210 from Fronius. All right, well, let's see what this thing's all about. This case is substantial. Like, it's got a pull handle. All right, let's see what it looks like. Holy cow, look how small that thing is. Just gonna get all this out of here and we'll take a look at it all. It's like the ground clamp, the 110 plug with some special connector. Looks like it locks. This might be their 220, 250 it says. Oh, it's an adapter. So that plugs into this. And then you have your standard welding plug. There's a gas line and a stinger. Nice, still strong. And then there's a manual in here, and that's it for this case. This case is so cool. It's like really heavy. Like, I mean, like you could fly with this. You know, if you wanted to load your welder up on a plane, you just put it right in here. Be good to go. I definitely don't have anything else or any other welder that I could just throw on an airplane and take it with me somewhere. I'm sure it's like a job site kind of idea thing. You can probably guess by the name, but this is a 210 amp welder. This is a DC welder, meaning you can weld all types of steel, does not have AC. I think by not having AC, you 1, save on the price, and 2, save on the size. So this welder would be, along with the case, a really good job site welder. Like if you were gonna go fix a boiler somewhere, or a holding tank at a brewery, or just kind of like on site, you gotta carry it into a factory somewhere. And you can easily throw this over your shoulder, take it on wherever you need to go. Now, Fronius is not paying for this video, but they were kind enough to send this welder out. Let's take a look at what else came with it before we set it up. I'm assuming by the size of this is the TIG torch. Oh yeah. I got a chance to mess with their welders at FabTech this last year. I noticed their torches are unique. I think they release and you can swap the head somehow. Oh, now it's locked. Is it this way? I don't want to break it. Okay, they're lined up. Oh look, yeah. So there, the head just pulls off. So you could have multiple ones of these and set them up all differently. Kind of like in that 9 fabrication tips video I made where I had the spin-off heads. But these are kind of the same idea. Yeah. Everything they make just feels super nice. Super nice. This must be for the torch controls to hook it up into the welder, and then this just looks like a standard torch for an air-cooled TIG welder plug with a very beefy plug on the end of it. Here's something unique on the torch. So this is like a similar sleeve that you would see on a lot of TIG torches, especially if you have a water-cooled one. You'll wrap it in this kind of sleeve to hold all the lines together. But then it actually goes down into this stiffer, more rubbery cord. So this is up by you and plenty flexible to move around. And then you have this stiffer, more durable for, you know, what's dragging on the floor, I guess, and all that. It's a good idea. this, I believe, is a little kit. Yeah, this is a little consumable kit holder. This says pedal on it. Look at that. Even their pedal looks cool. It's got this hook on the top, which I'm guessing is so when you're under the table welding and if you want to reposition the pedal, you can easily just like hook your foot up and move it around real fast. I'm guessing that's what that's for. This says flow meter. Now, from what I read on the website, it does come standard with a regulator, which I don't know, do any welders do that? Lastly, we have Fronius's Phaser 1000 Plus. Now, if by chance you are in the market for a compact, portable DC TIG welder and you want to order one, you can actually get one of these for free. You order the welder, register it, and then you enter the code. I'll put directions down below on what you need to do, but you'll get a free helmet right now. So that's a cool offer that they're doing. But yeah, it's light. It's got analog controls on the inside. It's a nice looking helmet. I'm gonna put it back in the bag. I don't wanna tear it up because I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. In case it does end up in a giveaway, I want it to be in pristine condition. All right, let's set this bad boy up and get to welding one of our mini rocket stove kits. So I laid everything out here. Since it's so small, I think I'm gonna put it right up on the table, and that way I can keep an eye on it and like mess with the features that it has while I'm welding pretty easily. I'm just putting away the stuff I don't need. The stinger that comes with it, one, super nice feeling. Not much of a stick welder, so I don't have a lot to compare it to, but it makes me think you can't discount this thing as a portable stick welder. I mean, like how small it is, the shoulder strap, all you really need is the stinger, the ground, and a power source, and you're good to go. I mean, that's all stuff you could carry somewhere. I am going to use the stock Fronius torch setup. It's a little bit bigger head than I'm used to because this is kind of what you want to run on an air-cooled TIG welder. I run a smaller number 9, which is kind of pretty much for either very light amperages or using a water cooler. But I do want to put a bigger gas lens on here, so I'm going to see what they have in here. All right, here we go. All right, I got the welder fired up, and I knew this being a high quality product from Fronius, it had all the adjustability that you would normally be expecting in a TIG welder, but looking at the front interface, it wasn't immediately obvious to me on how you adjusted it. Well, they actually put this little card that I skipped over. It was right next to the owner's manual, and it shows you, one, how to access the menu, and then what each thing means. So the thing I was just wanting to double check on was the post flow for the gas, and you can see right here, you can get into that easily. You just scroll through. So to access the menu, you hold this one and hit this, and then you're in it. And now this wheel scrolls you through all these. And then when you find one you want to adjust, like GPR is pre-flow. So right now there's 1 second of pre-flow. You can click this and adjust it. And that's how it works for every one of these settings. It's nice to even have a little reset option in case, I guess, you get really screwed up. You can just wipe it back to just how you got it. To exit the menu, you just hit this button, the same one that you held down, and it's back. So now we're at Amperage Control. I mean, 210 amps out of this little tiny machine. That is more than my previous TIG welder could do, and it was a much larger unit. Nothing you could possibly pick up by yourself unless you're an animal. And just crazy what they can do. The button feels really nice. It's got a rubber texture, easy grip, feels heavy. It's got a tactile, it's actually like a click. So every amp that I move, the knob actually has a tactile response. It's clicking. All right, here we go. I got all the pieces to the mini rocket stove weld kit. So in theory, you actually wouldn't have to prep any of this, especially if you're MIG welding it. I think you could just stick it together. If you're gonna TIG weld it and you want it clean, really the only thing you should need is a grinder. I've got a 50 grit pad here that I'm gonna knock off the edge from the cutter, and then I have a medium 3M Scotch-Brite that I'm gonna go back over and clean it up, and that's really should be it, unless I'm missing something. Oh yeah, look at these. Version 2. No liner this time. Sorry if you liked it. More form-fitting, different palm layout, different thumb layout. Doesn't get that pull. A little bit of elastic band. Double layered rest. I don't know, check them out. I'll leave a link down below. Just like, you know how the laser cutter leaves the heat, it kind of leaves like a little bit of a mill scale. So I want to knock that off because I feel like when I weld, that pulls into the weld and I can see it. Okay, I'm not even gonna test it on anything. I'm just jumping right into this. I mean, I'm gonna start on some easy pieces like the legs, but you know, other than that, yeah, we'll get these tacked up and see where we're at. Oh yeah, forgot to tell you, white ones too. Okay, I'm back. I know for you, I probably didn't really go anywhere, but I've spent about the last hour and a half looking through the manual, going through the welder's menu, testing some stuff out. I've been getting better gas flow using this reduced cup. That's pretty much just my inexperience with these bigger heads and what to run the gas at, but this seems to be working pretty smoothly. I was having this weird delay when I would hit the pedal. Well, I'm not used to running a gas pre-flow because I will normally just like click the pedal and pre-flow it and then hold it there a second and start welding. The welder by default had gas pre-flow set on, so I was getting that second delay. Like I was holding it and I'm ready, I'm gonna strike the arc. So if you're normally used to the arc going right when you hit the pedal, you just need to turn that off by default. It has been doing this weird thing where it keeps a little arc going right at the end of the weld. I'm trying to figure out what setting that is to turn that off, but it's not too bad, doesn't bother me that much, so I'm just gonna go with it right now. Well, I will say I welded up all 4 of those, and I have not heard one fan come on this welder, so I kind of forget that it's even on. At the beginning of this video, I mentioned that this welder comes with a torch that has controls on it. I don't have a lot of experience with finger controls. Some of the variable amperage ones I've never really liked because I feel like I move the torch too much while I'm trying to move my finger. But this one works a little bit different. Only welds I have left are putting all 4 feet on, which will be about 3 stitches on each side, and then putting the grate on the top. So for these last welds, I'm gonna try using the torch controls. To switch it over, I'm just gonna unhook the pedal, and then coming out of the torch lead is the plug for the controls. There's 2 different modes, 2-step mode, 4-step mode. You kind of have to look at the manual to see how these differ, but essentially 2-step mode, pull the trigger to start it, release it to end it. 4-step mode lets you pull the trigger to start it at a current low amp, release it, you're welding at full amperage, and then push it forward, it'll step down to a predetermined amperage, and then release it, you're back to full amps, and then pull it, it'll go back to that start amperage, and then release it, and it's done welding. So it sounds complicated, but I feel like once you learn this could be beneficial, you know, because you know how you'll often start off a weld and need a lot of heat, and then immediately have to back it off, and you can pretty much weld the rest of it at that lower amp. So for the feet, I'm gonna try this one, and for the grate, I think I'm gonna try this one. Now, I really don't have any idea how to set this up, but we're gonna do the feet first. So we're gonna put it in 4-step mode, and then I know to adjust, so this is our normal high amperage. Now this gives us control of all of it. So the start amperage, I guess this is just to get like an arc rolling. That's 25%, so we'll do 30%. Then this is the ramp up time, that's half a second, that's default. Peak amperage, 120, that might be a little high. And then this is the step down amperage, so that's set to 50% right now. We go with 80. That's the ramp down time. Apparently it's a second, and then we're back at 30%. So that's how you control the whole slope. I don't know. Let's give it a try. Here's what the controls on the torch look like real quick. This is that main one that you're either pulling back to start it, releasing, pushing forward, all that. And then this is a plus or minus, so you actually are adjusting the main amperage. And since the other sloped areas are a percentage of the main one, you can adjust your peak amperage on the fly. All right, here goes nothing. I mean, that actually was super smooth. Okay, I like that a lot. And honestly, the whole 4-stage thing sounded super complicated in my head. Like, it would take a long time to memorize that, and that was not bad at all. I don't think I'm even gonna try the 2-step mode because I already like that low amperage initial start. It lets my helmet auto darken. I can kind of see where I am, and all I have to do is let go, and it's full throttle. There it is, the first kit welded together. I'm starting quite a collection of rocket stoves. This is the original one I built by hand, and this is the kit that we just built. If you decide to light a fire in it, it'll probably look about like that again, but I'm glad I got to build one. No problems, everything fit together just like intended, so that was cool. Thanks again to Fronius for sending me out the TransTig 210. It's a powerful little unit. Super impressed with it. First Fronius machine I've ever had, and the build quality on it's excellent. Every part of it We never even came close to maxing this thing out on this build. It goes all the way up to 210. We never really went above, I don't even know, 125 maybe. I'm really glad I tried out the hand controls, enjoyed them a lot. I'm always gonna prefer a pedal with the control you have, but in a tight spot, maybe if you're working under a car or something, those hand controls are pretty intuitive to use. If you're interested in one of these kits, they will be on defiantmetal.com. I'm not sure what the price is going to be yet. They were a little bit more expensive to produce than I anticipated, but hopefully it'll be okay for everybody. If you're interested in the gloves, I'll leave a link down below. Hopefully they're up on Amazon by now. If not, you just might have to check back. If you do pick up one of these and build it and post it on Instagram, tag me. I'm at JustVoss. Love to see them, maybe see some customizations that people come up with. But if you're new here, I make welding and fabrication videos on YouTube like this one. I hope you stick around and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.